Okay, tribe, we are live. I haven't went live for a while. It's at least been a good month. I apologize. I was getting really in a good habit of going live, but we ended up having a lot of things happen. But before I get going here, let me put this on the floor and don't need everything. Just want to pop on here. It's getting really, really close to the holidays. And right now in Thailand, it's Christmas Eve. Back in the States, it's still December 23rd. But I just want to pop on here since because I know we're all busy. It's a busy time. We got the holiday. I mean, we have Christmas, we have New Year, all those celebrations is a crazy time for most of us. And but just wanted to jump on here and wish everybody a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, just in case we don't get a chance to chat. I am going to go live a few times here between the time. And today I just want to spend some time with you about preparing for 2026, and it's more about, living life in your terms, designing your life the way you want to design it. And for me, around this time, it's always kind of been a time for me to, even though I get busy, it's really a time to reflect. It's reflect on 2025 and basically reflect on what's going to transpire into 2026. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Plus, I am going to share the screen with you at some time because I am in the midst of doing my vision board for 2026. So I wanted to share that with you guys as well, because I got some cool pointers, to really, really cool pointers for everybody. If you want to make a vision board, it's something I would really, really uh, actually do if you've never done it before. And maybe you've done it, but you made some mistakes with it. We'll talk about that as well. What really makes it kind of work for you. And this time, I'm actually doing it all digital, so I can actually share the screen with you, kind of what I'm doing, so you can kind of see the beginning stages of my vision board. Because I've been doing this stuff for a long time. I'm not saying that I'm perfect at it, but when you do stuff for a long time, you kind of know what works. You kind of know what works for you and don't work for you. You've kind of yourself fell into bad habits, and so I can just talk about my bad habits and what I've learned from it. So we're going to do that. So other than that, I got my collagen. I drink every morning. So let me get that all ready. Take a sip here and there. And like I said, if you jump on, you can jump on the chat, ask me anything you want. It doesn't throw me off. If I have a brain fart, I have a brain fart. If I lose what I'm talking about thinking, I mean, that's all the dangers of going live. But anyway, let's talk about this for a second. And we'll go live again when it gets closer to New Year, maybe right after the New Year, after the holidays, when things calm down a little bit. But I really want you to think about just reflecting here for a second. And you might do this from time to time throughout the holidays. Really reflect on 2025, how it went. Not so much what you went through, but what did you really, really learn? What did you learn from it? And let me give you an example, like when I kind of reflect back to 2025. Like 2025, most of my 2025, almost all of it has been up in Surin. Actually around this time last year in 2024, when Aang and I came up to celebrate the holidays last year, we came up to Surin last year because this is where her sister comes, brother-in-law and stuff like that. And so we come up here every year, even if I'm here in Thailand or not. Anne comes up here every year if I can't come with her. But it's so funny because last year at this time we came up to visit, and last year at this time I already knew that I was breaking my lease at my condo in Waihin. That was already settled, and I gave them a 45-day notice. That 45-day notice took me to the beginning of February. Like I think it was February 2nd, something like that. February 1st, February 2nd, something like that. So when we came up here, I already knew that I was breaking my lease, gave the notice. Um, our initial plan was to go down to Jomtien and get a place down in Jomtien, but then when we came up here last year, I kind of just had this intuition of I don't know why. It's like, well, maybe we can come up here and stay for a little while. And our plan was only to come up for a few months or come up until like rainy season and go back down to Jomtien. But but things kind of changed. We kind of stayed up here. There was, Aang's dad wasn't doing very good. Um, Now he's doing way better now, but in the beginning, he wasn't really doing good at all. And even Aang, said that she didn't know, if he would last another year or something like that. But his health really turned around since we've been up here. So that's kind of what's kind of been we've been kind of staying longer and longer, or you kind of just get into the routine of staying here. But anyway, I know I'm being long-winded because I wasn't prepared to tell this story. But anyway, when I think back, we came up here in February, and when we came up here in February, I told myself I already knew Surin. I've been up here many times. I knew there was nothing to do up here. I knew, you pretty much go buy your food and come home. You know what I mean? There's pretty much no places to eat, no places to eat out, stuff like that. It's pretty, it's Thai local. You know what I mean? There's no tourist hotspots and stuff like that. I knew that. And it's kind of amazing when I think back because this is what I mean by reflecting is when I think back, I told myself that that well, it's a time to kind of Chad to work on Chad. I wanted to focus on work. It was a time to focus on work, but there's nothing to do up here. Okay. And plus, it's a time for Chad to work on Chad, Chad to do identity work. And since there was just less distractions at the time, up in Surin, less distractions, I, that's kind of to me, that was kind of the perfect scenario. And it's really funny how I said this to myself, and I said, "This is what I'm gonna do," "I'm gonna focus on work and work on chat." And focusing on work isn't too hard for me, that's pretty easy for me, but, when you start kinda going down the rabbit hole of identity work, uh, working on yourself, it's like peeling that onion. You know what I mean, my friends? You peel one layer, you just keep on going deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And and I think like when you're doing identity work in the beginning, you're kind of a novice to it. You're getting your feet wet with it, uh, but you got to stay in the fire. You got to stay in the game, okay? Because there's been like a lot of things up here just because there isn't distractions, okay? I am far away. Even Surin is 6 hours away from Bangkok. Okay, you have to take a 6-hour bus down to Bangkok. So when I say identity work, there's been a lot of things I've had to confront up here, or either holding standards and boundaries, like basically remaining. It forced me to remain. Um, And, I've told this story from time to time in videos, so I don't want to be long-winded here. But, when I reflect back and now we're at the end of the year, one of the things I really, really noticed, and it kind of it's kind of hitting at the perfect time where we're at the end of the year. I feel like I've stayed in the fire, and now I'm kind of walking through that fire. Because one of the things I really noticed, and it really stuck out to me, and we always hear this, it's not that I didn't know about it, is, you have to take 100% responsibility for your life. Okay. Everything you go through is your responsibility. Everything you go through is your fault. Okay. I know all of us have heard that, but most of us don't understand it. Most of us don't really understand it. Most of us don't relate it to us, okay? Because most of us still walk around and we blame other people, we blame situations, we blame circumstances. And honestly, if you take a look, just sit back and take a look at your life and take a look at that situation. I mean, I bet you $1,000 right now. If you look at that situation, okay, you can find where it's your fault. Okay. You understand what I'm saying? Like, a lot of us, we go home, we complain about other people, complain about circumstances, we complain, oh, Becky talked to me this way. I don't like how she talks to me. But yet it's your fault because you're putting up with it. Okay. If you look back at that situation, Becky is overstepping a boundary. So if she's overstepping a boundary, you talk to Becky about it. You don't whine and complain about it. You understand? So that's what I mean. Everything you're going through is your fault. You have to come to that, okay, with identity work. Okay. And that's something I really, really came to. And a lot of things got exposed in me that I didn't feel that, I didn't feel that those traits were inside of me. I explained this like in other videos where I kind of felt like, I had that runner side of me, like was kind of really being exposed. And I never really thought I would be a runner. You know what I mean? So certain things will be exposed to you, but the whole thing is remaining. The whole thing is drawing the line in the sand, no matter how tough it gets. Because when you do identity work, advanced identity work, you're going to be forced to face the things you're scared to face. Okay, the things that held you back in the past, that old you have to face them. Okay, because look at it this way: your most successful version of you has faced them. Your most successful version of you have conquered them. Okay, that's what you have to understand. And that's something. Hey, Lucky, what's up? That's something that just with me reflecting back is is kind of been kind of an awakening moment for me. That's what I mean by reflecting back. What what have you learned? It's not like, okay, what I accomplished, but what are you really learning? Because you really want to be that most successful version of you. You want to live life on your terms. But this is a junk phase you got to go through. Okay. And then this kind of leads up to, once you reflect back, this kind of leads up to, and this takes reflection too. How do you want your 2026 to go? What do you want to do? What do you want to accomplish? What's your intentions? What are your desires? And one of the things I heard the other day, that I've done videos on this as well, is you going into 2026, you gotta, when you want to live life in your terms, you gotta think delusional, my friends. You gotta set big goals. Okay. You don't set things that you can hit. You gotta step outside your comfort zone and be a little bit delusional a little bit. I mean, delusional might not be delusional for you. You know what I mean? But might be delusional for your friends you hang around. Might be delusional for your significant other. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm not going to get like too nitty gritty on this. I just at this time, I just want you to think, start reflecting, start kind of letting your intuition flow. You understand, start putting yourself in that state, because either once hitting now, either you have a lot of time off work, but it gives you time to reflect. But at this time, let me share the screen with you, because I am working on my 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 vision board. And let me see what's going on. I haven't shared the screen before. I know you can do it. So got my affirmations there. Let me find my vision board here. That's it. Okay. Okay, that's my vision board. Let me drag it over so I can see. Now you can kind of see it over here in the corner of the screen, but I'm going to share it on this screen here. So just give me a second, because I know I can share the screen. That's true. So let me go here. Hmm. Oh shoot. It's not over there. Let me see. It's doing the tab over here. Maybe I can share it. Maybe I can't. Because it's sharing just from the tab. I have the YouTube tab on. I thought I could. Oh, hang on a sec. Hang on. Let me see. I can. Let me see here. Window. I'm figuring it out, guys. I'm figuring it out. Okay. Look like I can. Okay, I can share my screen too here. So I got two screens. Okay. Let me see here. Yep, here I am. The Chad figured it out, baby. The Chad figured it out. Okay. The only thing I'll work on it over here if I show you some stuff. So right now, I did this yesterday. This is the rough draft of my vision board I'm creating. So, but I kind of want to just sh- to kind of share with you some expert secrets I figured out along the way from kind of doing this. Okay, now number one thing here, no matter if you do your vision board like a digital board like I'm doing. This is the first time I'm doing 100% digital. Usually I'll mix it. Usually I'll go to the store, I buy a poster board, I'll have magazines and stuff like that. I'll jump on a computer, print out pictures and stuff like that, and I'll make a collage board. And I try to make it really nice. Maybe you put it in a frame because the one mistake that people make with their vision boards is that I'm just like looking at the pictures. Is that after they make it, I mean, I've been at like little vision board events, not events, but we all get together and make them where people make them and right after they make them, they just throw them away. They do all that work and they just throw it away. Or they do all that work and they take it home and it goes under their bed. Okay, it goes like on the bookshelf behind the bookshelf or whatnot. Um, so that's really the number one mistake. The whole point of it's fun to make a vision board. Okay, it puts you in the moment. Okay, even if you take several days to do this. Like I started this yesterday. I worked on it for maybe like 45 minutes, and I took a break, and it's obviously not done. But I'm kind of taking my time. It probably take me. I might work on it until until the end of the year. I mean, I might kind of fine tune it a little bit. But what I want to tell you here is that once you're done with your vision board, you need to put it, this is 100% guaranteed. You need to put it somewhere in your house, in your condo, in your apartment that you can see it all the time. Okay. Now, for me up here, the reason why I really chose to do it digital is because since we're up in a Surin, I always have my computers on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a digital board, but I'm going to save it as a screensaver on my computers. But like I have two screens. The computers are on. I turn them off at nighttime. I turn them on in the morning, and the screensaver sets. So I'm always walking in and out where my computers are. I'm always sitting down working, doing things. So this is a perfect place for me, like kind of where I'm living right now, is have it as a screensaver because I'll see it all the time. That's what you got to do, my friends. Okay. Now, you might not have a computer setup like me. Okay. You might not be always at your computer like I am, or you're always where you can see it all the time. Okay. Now, when I lived in LA, when I did a vision board, I had it sitting literally in the living room and the coffee table because I bought like a really nice board. It looked really, really high end. That's where it's sitting because when I walked in the living room, I put it where my eyes would just naturally glance at it. You know what I mean? The vision board, like, I don't know, maybe you can put it in the bedroom, but lots of times for me, a bedroom is somewhere I hardly go. I only sleep in the bedroom. That's it. But you want to put it somewhere where you have a lot of foot traffic. And what really works for me is really pay attention to where like your eyes, like when I walk into the kitchen, what are you naturally just looking at every time you walk into the kitchen? When you walk in the living room, what are you just naturally looking at every time you walk in the living room? And that's the kind of stuff that I do. I pick up on. I know it sounds anal, but it works. You need to put it somewhere where you just naturally are looking and you don't have to think about it. Okay. Most of us, we kind of, if people come over, we kind of get embarrassed. So this is my vision board. You want to hide it. But that's the number one thing. Okay. Now I'm going to share with you some other tricks of the trade here. Okay. I got some, not some affirmations, but I got the Kingdom Loot YouTube. I was shorting things down here. I got the quote here. I'm the $15 million man because I call myself I'm the $15 man. I have Dubai here because I'm moving to Dubai uh, in 2026. So I got pictures of Dubai. I'll have more pictures of Dubai. Okay. But one of the things you're going to notice what I'm doing here, I got my vision board is the mixture of new intentions, new desires, and it's a mixture of things I've really done. You understand what I'm doing? So this is what I want you to pay attention to. Okay, when I do a vision board, I got pictures of me. This is me in Wahin. I lived in Wahin. I was really there. Okay, so what I'm doing, this kind of tricks your brain a little bit. Okay, because you got things that you really want, like moving to Dubai. Okay, my dream car, the Porsche. I got things I really want, but I'm listen to what I'm doing as I'm mixing in there things I've actually really accomplished. Because when my brain looks at that, my brain doesn't fight it. My brain's like, oh, I was really there. Okay, we were really on this. This is Ang, by the way. We were really on this VIP bus. This is a VIP bus that we take in Thailand. Okay, so I mix real things in there as well. Okay. And if you're watching this, you can comment, that doesn't throw me off or anything like that. But this is something I've learned along the way that really makes your vision board very, very powerful. Because listen, I know I sound like a robot, I apologize, but when I look at this, like look at this one down here. Look what I did to this car. Let me blow this up so you can see it. Let me put this to the front so you can kind of see what I'm doing. Okay. So this is the Porsche 911 twin turbo. It's about 250,000. So if you have a picture of your car here, when you do it digital, okay, this is a little tiny picture of me. Let me make me bigger. You can just put yourself right in that picture. You understand what I'm doing. Okay. This is a real picture of me. I put myself in the picture so it really looks like I'm standing beside my dream car. You understand what I'm doing? So this is my dream car. Okay. I put myself inside the picture. Okay. Now listen to what's going on here. Okay. Is now this is an intention. This is what I really want as my dream car. But I put myself in it. But listen, at the same flipping time, I'm trying to keep my language down. I almost said the F word. Okay. But at the same time, I have other pictures in here that are totally real. I totally really done. Okay. I totally really have. So I'm kind of mixing the two together. Then your subconscious mind thinks you've already done everything because I'm mixing real and desires in there at the same time. Okay. This picture right here. Okay. Let me bring it to the front so you can see it. Okay. Because I'll change everything later. So I just want you to see things. Okay. Now, this is a snapshot I took off of YouTube. This is actually real. Okay. I didn't make this. This is real. I just took a screenshot off YouTube. This is one of my reels right here, but I'm literally, these are 4 reels together. Then my channel is up against Alex Emosi's, up against Andrew Tate, up against I forget his name. I'm having a brain fart. But listen to this. All these channels have probably over 2 million subs or more. You understand what I'm saying? But my channel is right with their channels. Okay. So this is real. YouTube created it. It's just like when you go to a YouTube homepage, you see it. So I took this off because when my mind sees it, it's like, damn, it's real. Okay. Then I put some real pictures of me in there. This was me in Vietnam. Uh, I always call myself the king of YouTube. So I put the YouTube plaques in there for 2026. I put people that I want to meet, not just really meet, but be friends with. I got Grant Cardone in there, Andrew Tate. I got Dan Henry. Now, Dan Henry, I've talked to several times, but I never met him in person. So like maybe people you want to meet, people you want to associate with. Uh, what else do I have in there? I got little funny pictures, Ing and I traveling. So of course this isn't done yet. I got a lot more work to do, but you can kind of see what I'm doing. Okay. And this is the same thing you would want to kind of do. You want it the biggest thing what I find that works, and I kind of said this over and over and over, but what I'm doing is I'm mixing real things I've done and accomplished, and I'm mixing my intentions, desires, my goals, what I really want. Then when you mix them like that, when your mind looks at it, your mind just accepts it as true. You know what I mean? Because you're mixing real things in there as well. Plus I'm using real pictures of myself to make it more real. I'm like with my car picture. Let me make this smaller. Like with my car picture, I'm grabbing a real picture of myself, and since I'm kind of tech savvy a little bit, you can add yourself right into these pictures that make it look like you're standing in your dream house. If I took, like, honestly, like if I took a different uh point over here too. Yeah, you can see it. Like if I took a different picture of my car, I could Photoshop myself inside my car to look like I'm driving my car. Okay. So you can do the same thing. Or you can take it up a notch, and you can go to a Porsche dealer and then, sit in your dream car and take a picture of it. Okay, now you got a real picture of you in your dream car. Then on top of it, you know how it feels. You know what it feels to sit like in the seat. You know what the leather feels like. You know what it smells like. Okay, it really brings it to life a little bit. Um, but I did have a picture of this, but this blood orange color is a real color of what I want. Okay, so they might not have. One time I went to a Porsche dealer and they literally had this color, and the color was so flipping awesome. Like, this picture is really well, but the shadows are really, really good in this picture. But the picture I took on my phone, it was on an old phone. It still looked like a badass car, but like in person it looked flipping awesome. Like, the picture didn't do it justice. I can tell you that right now. Um, but yeah, I mean, that's my vision board right now. It's not done, of course. There's a lot of work to be done. Um, so I got to get pictures of my house in there and stuff like that. And yeah, but yeah, those are some tips, some major tips to do with your vision board, to kind of really bring it to life and really make this stuff work for you. And because, again, when we start wrapping this up, like, you could do the perfect vision board, my friends, but then you go home and throw it away. You can make the perfect vision board, you go home and throw it under the bed. Okay. Okay. You spend all that time making it. It needs to be somewhere where you can see it. Bottom line. Because even when I was listening to this, even when I was working on this yesterday, I had some fun with this yesterday. I was just in the mood to do it. I was gonna wait to do a live and kind of build this, um, doing a live stream, but I was just in the mood to do it last night. And when I sat down, I was putting just gathering the pictures, putting them together and all that jazz. Like, dude, like, when I look at the pictures, I immediately go into my imagination. When I look at the picture of my Porsche, I immediately go in my imagination driving down the road to my Porsche. You understand what I'm saying? When I look at pictures of Dubai, I immediately go in my imagination and see myself actually living in Dubai. You understand what I'm saying? That's why it triggers your imagination. It triggers everything. And when I'm putting real pictures of me in there, it takes like an average vision board, and you're making a vision board like on steroids. That's what you're doing, my friends. But anyway, just want to share that with you. I will go live another time where maybe it's just on vision boards and stuff like that. Like, I'm not going to bore you to death. in the beginning of, doing self-reflecting and telling you a piece of my story and all that jazz. But but yeah, I just want to pop on here. I know it's a busy time. But I will go live sometime, maybe in between. Maybe we get past Christmas, maybe on the 28th or something like that, go live again. And maybe that time we'll be doing the vision board. Just go right live with that. And what I'll do is with this one, what I'll do, especially like I'm on Canva, I'm using Canva right now. And I'll kind of show you how to do it digital if you want to do it digital, like what I'm actually using. And I'll step it out in steps because I can just copy this whole thing where down here everything is in there. So I can just copy it. Then I can refresh the page too to kind of get everything refreshed. That way I have two of them. You understand? So that way you can see kind of this is the initial thing I did yesterday, kind of get everything out. Then what I'll do is copy it. I'll do it in stages. That way when I go live, you can see basically what I've done. You can see the stages I'm at and putting it together. And this blurred picture I have in the background is actually Dubai, but I kind of blurred it out so that the other pictures are stand out. But there's still a lot of work to do. I'm gonna have some fun with it um to make it. But I just want to give you those pointers. Go live again. I need to get back in the habit of going live and all that stuff because just because this is just a YouTube thing, but just the more you go live, like if I haven't go live for a while, lots of times YouTube don't kind of tell really that many of my subscribers that I'm live. But I do notice like when I go live every day, like more and more people jump on. Um, so just kind of doing things sporadically, it doesn't work out so much. Uh, but the more I'm consistent with going live, the live streams kind of build more. It builds up a little bit more momentum. Just little things I've kind of figured out along the way of YouTube. But anyway, tribe, Merry Christmas, have a happy holiday. And I'll go live before we have the new year again. But just wanted to jump on here, let you guys know I'm alive and kind of give you some pointers, kind of thinking about this time, jumping into 2026. Other than that, remember, I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next live stream. Peace out. And let me see, because now I got it in the screen, baby.